experiencing salvation and resurrection life. It's seeing what Jesus believed. And when we can see what Jesus believed, it's not like something we got to now try to apply to our life. It's when we can see what Jesus believed, that renews the belief in our heart. And now the same thing Jesus believed as he walked the earth dwells in us and is born in us. And guess what gave birth to the life Jesus experienced on the earth? What he believed. And so if we can find us believing the same things Jesus believed, what happens is we'll find our whole spirit, souls, and bodies being animated with the same life that Jesus' body was animated with. We'll find ourselves experiencing resurrection life. The problem is, we haven't really been talking about what it is Jesus believed. Jesus didn't believe if I can love people, God will love me. Jesus didn't believe that. Jesus didn't believe if I can be kind to people, God will bless me. He didn't believe that. Jesus didn't believe that if I can love perfectly and be kind perfectly and always have peace, then God will come and raise me from the dead. He didn't believe that. He didn't believe he was defined by what he saw manifesting out of him or what the world said about him. Right. He didn't believe that. Yeah. He didn't look at the sin and death he was clothed in when he hung on the cross, and he didn't believe that that was a word about who he was or the life he had or what God thought of him or how God would behave towards him or what God would do. He didn't believe any of that. Right. Now that's what we've been all the time preaching in the church. That's what we've all the time been preaching in the church. So we haven't been seeing what Jesus believed. We've been preaching what Adam believed. Right. And so now what we've all been doing is talking about in church every Sunday what Adam believed. About himself, about God, about what would make God like him, about what would make God come and save him, about how he could be blessed, about how he could have life, what he thought of himself, what he thought defined him. We've been preaching Adam in the church. Right. The mind of Adam. But Paul said the carnal mind is enmity against God. Yes. What he said there is the carnal mind is contrary to the mind God is of. So if Adam was ashamed of his nakedness, that's the carnal mind. That mind is against or contrary to the mind of God. So Adam was ashamed of his nakedness. God wasn't ashamed of his nakedness. Adam was ashamed that he couldn't produce good fruit. God wasn't ashamed of him because he couldn't produce good fruit. Adam thought God had orphaned him in the earth. Adam thought God had forsaken him. God didn't orphan Adam in the earth. God didn't forsake Adam. You see, but we've all the time been preaching what Adam believed. And talking about it as if that's what Jesus believed. And then we wonder why we find ourselves filled with the life of Adam. Where we're all the time filled with fear. We're all the time filled with shame. We're all the time thinking God is far from us, that He's separated Himself from us, that He's not near us, that He's not happy with us. And we're all the time trying to bring forth good fruit in order to clothe ourselves so that God will be happy with us.